This video exposes what no one dared to say out loud. Before Yu Menglong's tragic death, a fatal jump from his high-rise apartment after a night of heavy drinking, there were weeks, maybe months, of pain no one saw. Sources now claim he was starved, beaten, and psychologically tortured on the set of his final drama. The footage that leaked was horrifying. His body told a story, but no one listened until it was too late. Stay till the end, because what you're about to hear isn't just another celebrity tragedy, it's the unraveling of a cover-up that could change everything we thought we knew about China's entertainment world. It all started with whispers on set. Crew members described a tense atmosphere, directors yelling, producers rushing, and Yu Menglong, once known for his calm smile, standing silently in the corner. They said his face had changed, pale, hollow, and distant. Some said he barely ate. Others said he wasn't allowed to. A makeup artist later confessed, he used to come into the trailer shaking. His wrists were bruised, and sometimes, I could see marks on his neck. But he'd always say, it's just from the stunts. But these weren't normal stunts. Leaked behind-the-scenes videos from the drama The Glass Promise showed Yu collapsing during a long take, clutching his stomach. The director shouted for him to stand up, no one rushed to help. Instead, someone laughed in the background. The camera kept rolling. At first, fans thought the clip was edited. Then a whistleblower, a lighting assistant who later vanished from social media, confirmed it was real. He hadn't eaten for 2 days, the assistant wrote in a deleted post. They told him it would make the scene more real. They said, pain brings authenticity. As investigations later hinted, the abuse didn't stop at starvation. Crew logs revealed extended shoot hours, 20 hours a day, no breaks. Reports showed his salary was withheld for months, and there were multiple instances where he was allegedly locked in his dressing room after refusing to redo a dangerous scene. One insider from Mango Media, the studio behind the project, described it as method acting taken to inhuman extremes. They said Yu was forced into emotional breakdowns to capture genuine tears. But what they got instead was genuine trauma. People close to him noticed his behavior changing. He'd stare blankly during interviews, smile through trembling lips, and often look lost mid-sentence. A stylist once said, he'd stand in front of the mirror for hours. Sometimes he'd whisper to himself, I can't do this anymore. Yet the public saw none of this. On July 15, 3 weeks before his death, Yu Menglong attended a small cast dinner. Witnesses said he seemed detached, drinking quietly while others laughed. His co-star tried to cheer him up, but he barely responded. One fan's video from that night went viral after his death. It showed him standing near the balcony, looking out into the city, whispering something no one could hear. When translated, lip readers said it looked like he said, "They broke me." The next day, Yu reportedly showed up to set 3 hours late. Crew members described a violent confrontation between him and a man identified only as Director G. According to leaked audio, the director shouted, "You're replaceable, Meng Long. You're lucky anyone even remembers your name." The slap that followed was loud enough for nearby cameras to catch. But in the official footage, that moment was gone. Fans didn't see what happened behind the cameras, but a production assistant later leaked a still frame from the raw file. Yu's cheek red, his expression empty. By then, the torture wasn't just physical. His mental state was crumbling. Those close to him said he began drinking heavily, not socially, but desperately. He'd bring bottles to his apartment, mixing alcohol with sleeping pills. The walls of his home were said to be covered with unfinished song lyrics, and sticky notes with phrases like "end the noise" and "maybe they'll listen if I fall." What broke him wasn't a single moment, it was the silence around him. 1 week before his death, Yu had called his manager at 2 a.m., saying he wanted to quit the drama. The manager allegedly told him, "You can't walk away now. Too much money is on the line." That call would be one of his last. According to security footage from his building, Yu returned home around 11:30 p.m. that night, stumbling, visibly intoxicated. He carried no food, just a script and a bottle of whiskey. At 12:47 a.m., a neighbor heard glass breaking. Then, silence. By 1:03 a.m., he was gone. Police reports stated it was an accidental fall caused by intoxication. But the bruises on his body told a different story. What shocked everyone wasn't just his death, it was what surfaced after. A confidential report allegedly sent to Mango Media's legal team leaked online 2 weeks later. It contained photos from the set, Yu's wrists bandaged, ribs showing through his costume, his eyes sunken and lifeless. Next to each image were cold production notes. Keep emotional intensity high. No food until scene 14. Limit rest breaks, need exhaustion for realism. When fans saw the document, chaos erupted online. Hashtags like #Justice for Yu Ming Long trended globally. Netizens demanded investigations. Mango Media responded with a brief statement: "We mourn Yu Menglong's tragic passing and deny any claims of misconduct during filming." But that denial only fueled the fire. More people started coming forward: assistants, makeup artists, even background actors. One said, "We all knew something was wrong. But we were scared. You don't speak against the producers." Another claimed that Yu had been locked in a room for hours when he refused to cry during a scene. They allegedly left him there until he broke down. A security guard from the studio even shared CCTV stills of Yu sitting on the floor of his trailer, holding his knees, shivering. The timestamp matched the night before he fainted on set. What the public didn't know was that Yu had been secretly recording his experiences. Police reportedly found a hidden voice recorder in his apartment drawer. On one of the recovered clips, his voice was barely audible but chilling. "They think I'm weak because I don't fight back. But they'll all see what they did." That line would become the center of a heated debate: was it a warning or a goodbye? Experts later revealed that Yu had been under extreme psychological stress, classic signs of coercion, exhaustion, and deprivation. Yet no official charges were filed. The studio moved on. The drama aired weeks later, dedicated in loving memory of Yu Menglong. But fans noticed something in one of the final scenes: his tears looked real. Too real. The emotional impact was unbearable. Viewers began connecting hidden details in the footage: the tremor in his hands, the way his eyes darted nervously toward the camera. They realized those moments weren't acting at all, they were cries for help immortalized on screen. The film's editor anonymously admitted later, "When I was cutting that scene, I felt sick." He wasn't performing, he was pleading. Behind the scenes, whispers said the footage of his collapse had been ordered destroyed. But one in turn claimed to have kept a copy. The alleged clip showed Yu crawling toward the camera, whispering, "Stop filming," before the feed cuts abruptly. After his death, conspiracy theories spread: was it really an accident? Or did someone push him over the edge? Anonymous sources claimed that a few weeks before the tragedy, Yu had a heated dispute over unpaid wages and the alleged abuse. He threatened to go public. Days later, his contract was mysteriously terminated, and so were 2 of his assistants. That night, all his social media accounts were wiped clean within minutes of the incident. Fans noticed that even his backup fan pages were taken down for policy violations. The silence was deafening. Months later, a documentary filmmaker obtained access to some of Yu's unreleased interviews. In one clip, he said softly, "Sometimes fame feels like a cage. You scream, but the world only hears applause." That line struck millions. It wasn't just about him, it was about every actor suffering behind the scenes in silence. And when the coroner's confidential report leaked, showing signs of malnutrition, bruising, and old fractures inconsistent with a simple fall, the internet exploded again. People began asking, was Yu Menglong's death covered up? Even more shocking, the studio that handled his final project reportedly lost $2.1 billion in market value within days of the scandal breaking. Shareholders demanded answers. Yet no arrests were made. Today, Yu Menglong's story remains an unresolved mystery, a dark reminder of what fame can hide. His apartment, sealed off after the investigation, still stands as fans gather every year to leave flowers, photos, and letters. Some say late at night, neighbors hear faint music playing from his old stereo, a haunting echo of the songs he never got to finish. Others claim his words, "They broke me," still echo through the industry. And though time has passed, his fans continue to fight for truth. If you've watched till this point, you've just witnessed the hidden side of fame, the kind no camera was meant to show. What really happened to Yu Menglong might never be officially revealed, but one thing is certain, the pain he endured will never be forgotten. Was it exhaustion? Neglect? Or something far darker? What if everything you thought you knew about Yu Menglong's final days was only half the truth? Because new details have surfaced, and they paint a horrifying picture of what he truly endured on set. It started subtly. The kind of slow, creeping suffering that no one recognizes until it's too late. During the filming of his final project, insiders revealed that the production crew began enforcing method discipline, a cruel concept meant to push actors to their emotional limits. But for Yu Menglong, it became psychological and physical imprisonment. A makeup artist later said, they wanted him to look tired, fragile, and broken, so they made him live that way. They allegedly withheld food for entire shoot days. Yu was told it was to maintain realism. For a historical drama set in famine-stricken times, they claimed his body had to mirror the character's struggle. But this wasn't acting anymore, it was human deprivation disguised as art. Multiple reports from background staff described a disturbing daily routine. Yu would arrive early, holding a small cup of coffee, his only fuel for the next 12 hours. When the lunch bell rang, extras and crew were allowed to eat. But he wasn't. A production note discovered later even had a line scrawled in red ink. No full meals for lead actor, only water and 1 apple before take 8. By evening, his body would start shaking. His co-star once said she saw him faint during a nighttime desert scene. The director shouted, "Don't cut. Keep rolling." The cameras kept filming as Yu hit the ground, his body motionless, his breath ragged. But instead of helping, someone reportedly said, "That's perfect. It looks real." The cruelty didn't stop there. Crew members leaked that he was routinely denied rest. They filmed 18-hour days under freezing rain and scorching lights, forcing him to redo takes until his lips turned blue. When he complained of dizziness, the director allegedly said, "Then fall for real. Make the audience feel it." One stunt coordinator later admitted in an anonymous message. He wasn't acting exhaustion. He was living it. He'd vomit between takes and still be told to continue. The emotional pressure piled on top of the physical pain. Yu's gentle nature made him an easy target for directors who thrived on domination. During one scene, witnesses said he was slapped in front of the crew for missing a line not once, but several times as the cameras rolled. What was supposed to be a dramatic confrontation turned into a real beating. The slap that made it into the episode wasn't fake, it was a real moment of humiliation immortalized on screen. Behind the glamour of red carpets and press conferences, Yu Menglong was fighting an invisible war. His body grew thinner with each passing week. Fans noticed, commenting online that he looked delicate or more artistic. No one realized it was starvation. A crew medic who later came forward described seeing him sitting on the floor, eyes glassy, unable to focus. He'd lost nearly 10 kilograms in just a month. When the medic suggested medical leave, he was dismissed. They didn't want an actor, they wanted a prop that suffered beautifully. The torture wasn't only physical, it was psychological. He was constantly told he was not emotional enough, too weak, too forgettable. The verbal abuse wore him down until he stopped speaking during breaks. He became robotic, following instructions, taking his marks, never arguing. One intern described seeing Yu sitting alone in his dressing room mirror, repeating quietly, "It's almost over, just 2 more weeks." But the truth is, it was already over long before that. Rumors later suggested that the production's lead investor had pressured the director to break Yu's performance, to make him reach what they called artistic insanity. They wanted tears, pain, trembling, and they got it, by force. They ordered scenes to be shot without scripts, letting other actors scream at him unexpectedly, throw real objects, even push him to the ground, all to catch authentic reactions. The cruelty blurred the line between fiction and reality. In one leaked take, Yu stands trembling, trying to deliver his lines while others shout insults not written in the script. His lips quiver, his eyes well up, and then silence. He collapses again. That clip was never aired. But those who saw it said it was haunting, because it didn't look like acting at all. The physical toll was devastating. Crew insiders revealed that Yu's hands trembled so badly he couldn't hold a sword prop anymore. His skin bruised easily, and makeup artists had to cover up purple marks on his arms before every shoot. Yet he never lashed out. Never shouted. Never exposed anyone. Why? Because contracts in the industry are cages. He was reportedly warned that breaking his contract would mean paying damages in the millions, money he didn't have. So he stayed. Starved. Obeyed. And kept pretending it was all part of the craft. In one chilling account, a lighting crew member said Yu was once locked inside a set room for over 2 hours. He had refused to reshoot a dangerous wire stunt after falling earlier that day. The director allegedly said, "Leave him there until he learns respect." When they finally opened the door, Yu was sitting on the floor, eyes wide, whispering, "I can't feel my legs." But they still made him perform the scene that night. That was the kind of torment he faced, the kind that strips away not just dignity, but humanity. When fans saw him promoting the drama later, they saw none of this. He smiled. He laughed. He called the experience transformative. But behind those words was a shattered soul. Backstage, his assistant revealed that Yu sometimes cried silently before interviews. He'd take deep breaths, wipe his face, and say, "Let's make them believe I'm fine." He wasn't fine. By the final week of filming, he reportedly couldn't keep food down. His manager brought him energy drinks and painkillers just to get through scenes. His eyes lost their light. He would stare at the camera as if looking through it, into something no one else could see. In one behind-the-scenes video leaked later, he can be heard murmuring faintly after a difficult take, "I just want to sleep, just let me rest." Those words weren't in any script. No one helped him. They praised his dedication. They called him a perfectionist. But it wasn't perfectionism, it was suffering turned into performance. And the audience applauded it, never realizing what they were really watching. One co-star described a moment that still haunts her. During a crying scene, she tried to comfort him after the director yelled again. Yu just looked at her and whispered, "Don't worry, they're only killing me slowly." She thought it was a joke. Until the day she saw his photo on the news. The irony is that the very pain they inflicted on him became the reason the show was praised for its realism. Critics called it his most powerful performance ever. But few knew it was powered by genuine starvation, sleeplessness, and torment. Every frame of that show is a haunting reminder of what he endured. The suffering they forced on him became immortal, but so did the injustice. In the days leading up to his death, witnesses said Yu appeared frail, unrecognizable, almost ghost-like. He'd lost his voice from exhaustion. His assistant said he could barely finish a meal, a cruel echo of the starvation they forced on him for months. It said that his final words to a friend were, "At least now I can rest." So when people say he jumped because of alcohol, they miss the bigger picture. The real cause wasn't in a bottle, it was in the cruelty that led him there. The torture. The starvation. The silence. Those were the things that killed Yu Menglong long before his body ever hit the ground. And now, the world is finally asking, who let this happen? Who watched his suffering and called it art? And why did no one stop it until it was too late? Because behind every smiling celebrity, there might be a story just like Yu Menglong's, one hidden by lights, makeup, and applause. If you made it this far, you've seen the darker side of fame, the one they never show in interviews. Now it's your turn to speak. Do you believe Yu Menglong's suffering was ignored for profit? Was the method acting on that set actually calculated abuse? Or do you think there's even more to this cover-up than anyone has revealed yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I want to hear your theories. And if you found this story as shocking as it deserves to be, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, because we're only scratching the surface. There are still secrets buried behind Yu Menglong's final days, and the truth is only getting darker.